Hey guys, Sam McLeod here, and today I wanted to do a video on the topic of selling and just deep dive into a little bit as I had a conversation today with someone and it got me thinking about I guess how people really do look at selling, not just as holistically, but also just what do people really think about it. And I want to challenge your thinking here just for a moment in regards to if someone said to you, do you know how to sell something to someone, or do you know what sales is? Most people respond with one or two things, which is, I'm not a salesman, or selling's not for me. And guys, I want to challenge that today, because let me tell you, if that's your attitude, it needs to change, because, and I'll deep dive into that in a second, but selling is a prerequisite for life. It is a skill set that you need to master. You need to have in your arsenal, not just because you might have a career in it, but because it will affect your job in many different ways, which I'm about to go into. Selling is not just a job. It's not a type of person, guys. It's got to do with everything in your life. Okay, that comes down to your health, your wealth, your relationships, and just your all-around quality of day-to-day life. Okay, and selling is not just a form of what you do to people, but it's also a form of what you tell yourself. You wake up in the morning, your alarm clock goes off, and you decide not to get up at the sound of your alarm. That's because you just sold yourself on not getting up. You don't want to go to the gym. You don't want to go lose that last bit of fat, the last 2 kilos of weight off your waist, because that's because you sold yourself on the idea of not doing it. That's selling. Okay, it's not just to other people, but it's also to yourself. The definition, if you're looking up selling, it is to persuade, negotiate, and to get someone or to come to some sort of agreement with a person. But guys, one of the most important things in life that you can do is to sell yourself. And what I mean by that, you're probably thinking, well, Sam, what the hell are you going on about? Guys, when I say sell yourself, I mean, what is it that you're telling yourself each and every day when you wake up and go to work? Maybe in a job that you don't like, or maybe it's you're in a relationship you don't like, or you're settling for something that's second or third place when you know that you deserve more. You deserve better. Okay, this is a form of selling, what you tell yourself each and every day. And I know I keep harping on this one topic, but guys, I really just want to challenge the way you think about this and the way that you look at selling, because it's not just a job, it is a way of life. Everything you do, well, not everything you do, but a lot of things that you do in life evolve around this thing called selling. And it's not just the type of person. You don't need to be an extrovert. Some of the greatest salespeople on this planet are introverts. Look at Grant Cardone. You listen to some of the videos he harps on about. He's a massive introvert. He doesn't like getting in front of people, and he doesn't like talking to people if he doesn't have to, but he forces himself to do it because he knows if he wants the freedom, the wealth, the health, the great relationships, he travels around the world in his private plane, lives a life of luxury, he has to go out and do his thing each and every day. And he sells himself on the idea of doing it, because if he doesn't, he's going to come up second place, second best. He's not going to do what he needs to do. He has to tell himself every day in his head that he has to get up, follow a routine, go to the gym, eat healthy, work hard, spend time with the kids, spend time with the family. This is all a form of selling, okay? And it doesn't just come down to a type of person or a job, okay? And another topic or another side note on this is, a lot of businesses fail these days because they don't grasp this concept of selling. And the idea why most of them end up failing is because they didn't sell their ideas quick enough, in quantities great enough, and at prices high enough. Now, what I mean by that, and I'll say it again, they didn't sell their idea quick enough, in quantities great enough, and at prices high enough. Okay? So the number one reason as to why a lot of people aren't where they are is because they haven't sold themselves on what they need to do. Okay? It's not just a form of job or or trying to sell a car to someone or a house, or better yet, or flip that situation over. When you go to buy a house or buy a car, or you're trying to get funding for a business, let's say you have a young startup company, you're trying to acquire $100,000, whether it's through the bank or a private equity partner, or whatever the case may be. You have to sell the person or the group of people you're talking to on the idea of why they should give you that money. They're not just going to hand it over to you and you're going to get stuck, because if you've never been in this situation before and you don't know how to handle it, how to talk to people, how to say tonality, the right words, hand gestures, looking someone in the eye, the handshake, all these things, the meet and greets, your introduction, all these things are very, very important. And you don't get taught this at school. You don't get taught this at university. You don't get taught this anywhere. Unless you're lucky like I am and you've had a mentor who is a master in this area of this thing called selling, and you really learn how to deep dive into this topic, because it's not just a job, guys, and it's not just selling a product or a service, but it's a lot more than that. It's how you live your life, what you tell yourself, the people you surround yourself with, the conversations you have with them, the conversations you have with your loved ones, how you make decisions day in, day out, how you talk to people, who you talk to, the deals that you do, the deals you don't do. All of these things is a form of selling in essence. I'm not just talking the be all end all here. I'm just talking about, if you really look at the nuts and bolts of selling, you look at the definition of selling, it is some form of negotiation, persuading, or getting some form of agreement from a person. Now, when you think about that, who does that not apply to? It applies to everyone. Of course it does. So again, I'm just trying to, I guess, challenge your thinking here and just get you to think outside the box for a moment, because this doesn't get brought up a whole lot. And if you're stuck in a rut right now, or if you're not where you want to be in life, or if something's not quite right, but you know what it is, but you can't quite put your finger on it, guys, think about what you tell yourself every day. Think about your routine. What are you doing? What are you selling yourself on? Are you selling yourself on a second grade life? Are you selling yourself on a third grade life? Or better yet, are you one of these people that is a very ambitious person, and you're selling yourself on, you need to be up here and not down here? Because I can tell you, life's a hell of a lot better being up here than being down there. People think it's harder to be successful than it is to be broke. I'm telling you that's not the case. You try being broke and tell me how hard that is. That is a hell of a lot harder to be broke than stay broke, I can tell you that much. The difference between making 50 grand or $500,000 is not much at all. So guys, again, just wanted to, I guess, just briefly touch on this, because it's such an interesting topic and I love talking about it with people and getting their inputs and comments on this topic. So if you're struggling with something, or you have any questions, or if you want me to address a different video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below, and I'll try and punch out some of these videos once or twice a week. So yeah, have a good day.